and welcome to Nightmare Stories of the Other Side. Joining us tonight, we have Krystal Blevins, who is a paranormal investigator from Jamestown, Tennessee. She has been close to the other side since birth, probably attributed to the 7 minutes she spent medically dead at birth. She dabbled with spirit communication as a teenager, but really started taking her ability to connect with spirits seriously about 7 years ago. She is a single mom and an old school paranormal investigator who loves bringing the community together around the paranormal. Welcome in, Krystal. Could you tell us a little more about yourself?
Uh, well, I mean, that kind of wraps it all up in a tiny little package. Um, Mostly what I do is old school investigating, mostly. I prefer the old methods of just cameras and yourself or just yourself. Equipment's great and all, but it fails just like any electronic will do. So if you spend all of your time messing with an electronic device, you're going to miss something going on right in front of you. So I just prefer the old school way and being in tune with the spirits. I like to think of them as friends or family, as if I was talking to someone that was alive. That I get way more activity just being myself and just interacting, especially if I know anything about the location. If I can touch on something, then that kind of gets it going. If I visit the same location multiple times, then that also helps me get more activity. It's just like family. I mean, as weird as that sounds, but my philosophy has always been in life. I mean, would we want someone coming to our door, knocking on it, asking to come in and start asking 100 questions? Probably not. Um, so, you just get to know them, let them know you. Just talk about yourself a little bit. Play some music, tell some jokes, whatever works. I like to play hide and seek if I know there's a child spirit. Um, they think, that it's just makes it more enjoyable for me. I don't feel like I'm under pressure to get something on a K2 meter or if I've got a spike somewhere. It's just me in the spirit world. And that's my method. And that is what I will continue to do.
Yeah, that's a different approach. I never really thought of that before, but definitely unique and, as you said, old school.
Hmm. Yeah, I just prefer to think of it as if it was my loved one and someone was trying to make communication with them. How do I
Sure.
want them to treat them? How do I want them to talk to them? How do I, you know, do do we really even know if they know they're deceased? We don't know. It's all the answers that we're still trying to find. So just being a friend helps, in my opinion. Just being someone that they can actually not have to answer if they're a boy or girl or how old they are or how did they die. They get
Yeah.
those questions all the time. But if you just kind of open yourself up and you become a person and you make them just as if they're alive, you're going to find that stuff out without asking the questions.
Yeah.
So, and it's just a more respectful approach for me. It's just like the people who demonize everything and make everything evil. It's not. And so that's another thing I don't do. Not that it doesn't exist, not that I've not encountered it, but I can count on one hand how many times I've probably encountered it. So just because you're a butthead in life, you're probably going to be a butthead in death too. So you're going to do mean things, but it's just opening yourself up and realizing those were alive people. They had lives, they had family, they had friends, they have a story. Just let them talk when they want to talk. Don't ask them 100 questions.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about our trip to Wisconsin a while back today, and one of the things that they had said when we were talking to them was that we were actually talking to them.
Hmm.
The spirits were surprised by that, so
Yeah,
it must not happen that much.
it doesn't. I mean, I go to a lot of events. I've investigated with a lot of people, and it's almost like it's routine. I mean, it's like everyone has their set of questions and their set of things to do, and I don't. I
Sure.
just I get a feel for what's going on, what might be there, and I go from there. but I
Yeah.
don't ask 100 questions because I wouldn't want that as a live person. I'm not going to let you in my house, probably. So, and especially if we're going to their home where they called home, that's
Yeah.
their home. We are the guest, not vice versa.
Hmm. One
That's
thing that I
yeah,
find
that's a
it,
bad that I can think of, really.
yeah, hey, I find it interesting that it was mentioned that you died for 7 minutes when you were born.
I
I
do.
died 3 times before they kept my heart going.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I
So
think that definitely thins the veil out for you. It has for me.
yeah,
That's just my opinion.
I think so too. You
Yeah, I like your approach. It's very human and very humanizing. Um,
Well, I mean, they
uh,
to me they were, just humans. They're somebody's mom or dad or brother or sister. And I mean, as a daughter who lost her father, it was very close to. I hate to think that someone would disrespect him or treat him unjust or make a story up that's not real per se, just to get views. Um,
know,
I can't do that. So if I don't get anything, you're not going to get anything. But that's just me. That's my goal is to bring
yeah,
real back to paranormal and stop demonizing and just be real and tap into the old school ways. Like, I don't know how old everyone in here is, but I'm 44 and we didn't have equipment when I was a teenager. You didn't even have cell phones. So you
Oh,
were
I
your
totally.
equipment. So if you did anything, it was you got it with your eyes and your ears and there was no proof. Do we
yeah.
really need the proof?
No,
I mean, we do, but do we?
for, yeah,
Is it that important? I mean, as long as we experience it, do
yeah,
we have to show the whole world? I mean, for research purposes, sure. But what if, I mean, to get that one big experience, do you really want to be hiding behind a camera? Do you really want to be watching a case? I don't. I don't.
Right.
I want to experience it.
So just kind of looking through a little bit of your bio that you sent me today. Um, so just seeing here that this year you're going to be doing some programs for events for youth and newcomers. Can you tell us about that?
It is something that it's my paranormal dream's a little different than some people's, I guess, because I don't search for the fame or the name. I just recently discovered how much I enjoyed working with kids that is into paranormal. I had a friend and I took her little boy for the first time back in the summer, and it was just the most amazing experience to watch his little face light up. And of course, I kept it nice. Nothing was bad. Um, and then my own son, which is 11, recently he started getting a little interested. So I took him a few times, and I had the best time. He's just a lot of fun. And I just want to do that here locally. I might stretch out a little farther. I've had a couple people reach out to me from Kentucky, offering their locations for me to use. Just it would be more of a educational, like this is what this equipment does, and then go over some safety things you don't do, shouldn't do, you know, and just let them learn real instead of what they see on TV because
Right.
that's where we went the wrong way. That's where we zigged when we should have zagged in paranormal. That's my opinion. So everyone goes everywhere thinking it's going to be just amazingly active, and it's not.
Yeah.
If the youth catches it, we can get them early and say, this is real. This is what they can decide on their own if that's for them. They
Yeah.
can decide if they want to go that route. They can decide, where they're going to go with it, but at least let them have the foundation that what you see on TV isn't real. So don't get discouraged. You got to, kind of stick with it. So that's one of my goals. That's one of my dreams. And I want to do that this summer as much as at least 2 to 3 times if I can. Now, the things I want to do would be either absolutely free of charge or minute to cover a location because I'm not looking to make a profit at this point. I don't feel like I'm there or that anyone should pay to be in my presence just yet. So I just want to help. I want to help people that's never been investigating and they're curious and they can't afford it. It's so expensive,
Yeah.
so incredibly expensive. And I know what that's like. I know what it's like to have to put it on the back burner because you got to, feed a kid. But just, I do it locally. I've done it for about 4 years now. People in my community, which was a lot of work on my part because I live in a small town. Then they all said I was going to hell real quick. So I had to push on that. I had to push back. I had to prove that I wasn't demonic or, Satan worshiper or any of those things. I had to prove it wasn't evil. I had my work cut out for me. So as I started surfacing and doing those things, and I would take people that was interested and show them what it was like, word got around quick. It's a small town. So that's something I do a couple of times a year if I can, or just if they want to. They may want me to come to their home, or they may want me to just talk to them or give them advice or take them out at my locations because I have my own little hidey holes. That's mine that I take people to. I want to expand on that. I want to expand and do that a little bit more outside of my hometown.
Okay.
Just give people a little bit more of an opportunity that I wish even I had had at one
Right.
point.
Yeah, because when I was reading that, like I work in a middle school, and it's like I have like a whole, probably 15 to 20 students that love to hear about my adventures, and they're like, "Do you have any more ghost stories?" And so, like, I'm in the process right now. I'm like running a photography club once a
Mm-hmm.
week through March, but now, like, when that's done, I'm going to try work, fitting in a paranormal club for the,
Mm-hmm.
students. I even reached out to high school to try to get something set up there for like the older kids because
Yeah,
I got so many kids that are interested. It's like every day. It's like, when are you going on your next investigation? I'm like, not for a couple months. They're like, why not? I'm like, because I can't go everywhere every weekend.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
have you put any of your gear in that school? Have
I
you taken
haven't I
anything?
haven't brought any in yet, but that it's like once if I get that club going, then I'll bring the gear with because they want
Yeah.
to see it all and you know see how it works.
Well, you're going to be amazed how active an average school is.
Oh, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was
Yeah.
asking you about that noise level meter or whatever, because like another one of the staff members saying there's one room where they've been getting this weird noise that
Huh.
like some of the students can hear, but the teacher can't. So they want me to like go in that room and try to figure out what's going on with this room and why they're hearing this noise, but nobody, other people aren't.
Huh.
And we
Yeah,
got
that's
a portal. We
interesting.
got a portal going on there.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Well,
schools can be very. I was surprised at that myself. Um, I worked in a haunted house, like a Halloween event haunted house, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, locally, and it's an old elementary school we have here. It's abandoned, and we did a lot of work on it, and we did like a haunted house thing. It was not just us that's putting on the little scares because it really is haunted.
Yeah.
And when I started digging, because that's what I do, I'm a research freak. Like I will pick it apart once I've been to try to figure out what was that? What was I getting? Or just to get the history. And when I dug deep enough into the history, the things that had just happened on that land, I mean, and that's what you're getting a lot of times is, in my opinion, is just land things from attached to the land. Of course, these modern days, as sad as it is, I mean, you've got so many school shootings and things like that too. I mean, there's so much energy that's in those walls.
yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, just the kids that come in there with everybody's energy and everybody's going through different things in life and they leave.
Exactly. Some are sad, some are happy.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, so much, there's trauma. I mean, there's been bad things happen in school. You've got your bullying and sad to say, suicidal stuff. I mean, it's just the world we live in.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, schools are very, I was surprised. I'll just put it that way.
And like the district I work in, there's a couple like older buildings. There's one I work in a couple nights a week that one of the secretary goes, if you work a Saturday after you're done at 1 o'clock, you need to bring your equipment in because this building is definitely haunted. You can talk to the custodians. They hear stuff at night that they can't explain. I'm like, I go, wow, I might just have to just kind of roam around the building for a couple hours and see what I get.
Yeah. Well, even like the community center that I work at, the place is haunted as all get out. We're there late at night. There's nobody else around hardly, and there's definitely stuff there. You're seeing it, you're hearing it.
I carry my little backpack with me in the car usually. Once I get it reorganized after an investigation, because I will randomly investigate something just because I feel something or hear something or just I'm drawn to something. So it's not unusual. I'll just pull over at a random place. But it's all around. You just have to open up to it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I tell people all the time, it's like once you get to where you can see it, there ain't very many places that don't have something. So
Oh yeah.
something there.
Yeah, for me personally in hospitals, like working hospitals, it just wears me out. In fact, I've been sick. I had the flu about a week ago, but prior to that, I had another sickness and I needed to go to the ER, and it reminded me why I don't go to the hospital because it's just you don't know if you're hearing live or dead because
Yeah,
there's so much going on. But it's just the heaviness and the sadness, and it's just a lot.
yeah, I would agree. And kind of the same thing with nursing homes.
Oh yeah, those are sad. Those are
Yeah,
those are sad working and not working.
yeah,
But it's everywhere to me. That's my opinion on that. Of course, we carry things we don't realize sometimes too. Um, I think sometimes we create our own paranormal. Just it's our own. It's ourselves, and that's something that some people really don't believe in. I do. I just think that sometimes we do create things. That's our own trauma and our own whatever we're dealing with, and it's just projected out. So sometimes it's us, sometimes
yeah.
it's not. But I'm open to about any theory, honestly.
So, out of all the locations and places you investigated, what's could you say would be the craziest thing that's ever happened to you?
Uh, I always fall back on it because it's so far it is the big one for me, and it's Brushy Mountain. Um,
Ooh,
of course, I live 50 minutes from Brushy Mountain, and it's my second home. I go there to investigate. I go there just to walk around. They know me by name, and they even said they should go put me on payroll
I
because
want to go
I
there.
would just it's amazing. It's definitely something you want to do. I've been there so much and go just to go. I mean, they've got a restaurant on the property, a little distillery. I mean, you could eat and have you some liquid spirits, and then you can go to the prison, and it's kind of an all-in-one thing. You can
Huh?
spend the whole day there. I mean, you can go there and have your food and your spirits, and then do your investigation. And to me,
Interesting.
that's a perfect package.
Well,
But
Yeah.
definitely.
and it's haunted. I mean, what more could you want? But I was there, and I touched on this. If you watch Haunted Discoveries at all, I touched on it on my episode of Haunted Discoveries. Um, it was my big story, but D Block is where it happened to me. I've got activity about everywhere there, not everywhere, but just about. But D Block has been my hotspot. And D Block's where they kept the worst of the worst. That's where you had your death row inmates and people that were close to death row inmates. They did something so heinous that, he should be on death row. The meaner people. And it's a building to itself. It's not even attached to the prison. And when Brushy Mountain was a working prison, I was at that time a paralegal. So I went there as a paralegal. I worked for a defense firm, so I had to go and talk to inmates that we were representing in our firm. So I was there when it was alive, and then I've been going a lot since it's been shut down. But they did these little nighttime tours when they first opened up, little flashlight tours, I guess. They wasn't paranormal, but they would tell ghost stories, kind of, but they were just getting their feet wet, trying to get a feel of, well, I'm going to go, of course, of course. And I go and I take my oldest son. At the time, I think he was 14, 15, something like that. And we go through, and they have one area of the prison, the auditorium, which is notorious for having what they call a creeper or a crawler. I'm really not sure what they refer to it as. I've never seen it, so I can't. Well, I'll say that. I don't think I have. The auditorium of Brushy Mountain is supposedly the most active spot, not for me, but that's where the most murders happen. Because
Hmm.
when it was a working prison, they would come behind them and just shank them or slice their neck open because you're in the dark and watching movies or whatever. And I had gotten in there and I kept smelling this rotten smell, which I wasn't thinking. I just looked at the lady, Jamie. It was actually Jamie. She's the one who still has Brushy, is over Brushy. It was her then. And I was like, you got a gas leak up here. And she's like, we don't have gas. We don't even have heat up here. What are you talking about? And I said, I just smell it. Well, I wasn't thinking, what that smell indicated.
Yeah.
And she looked over at the other lady and she's like, we got to get her out of here. I mean, this is during a tour. I'm like, I don't want to leave. Wait, what did I do wrong? I'm just like, what did I do? And so my son spoke up and he said, I smell it too. And she's like, all right, both of you, you're going over to the hospital area, which is attached to the auditorium. It's like where they call it the hospital. It was the hospital part of the prison. We had to stand in there during the whole thing, during that part, because they were so afraid that something was trying to get to us. I didn't understand at the time because this was my first visit as in the dark and with it being shut down. So I was kind of new to a lot of things. We get on down to D block and I'm in the back of the line because that's who I am. I'm going to take up the rear because I want to see everything and experience everything. I'm either the first in the room or the last to come out. And they had went on ahead and I was walking through the cell, had a flashlight. The moon was coming in the window a little bit and I heard a clank, like the cell, like the bars. And I turned around and I shined my flashlight like up. And when I shined it up, this black smoke looking stuff came from cell 13. I'll never forget it was cell 13 from the bottom and just rose all the way to the ceiling. It wasn't a figure and it looked like smoke. But that smell was back and it was terrible and it was like choking me almost. Well, as soon as I pulled the flashlight up a little bit more, quickly it went out the other way, which was odd, but it was like zoom and it was gone. And I seen it go zoom, but I turned around and I also went zoom because I don't know what I just saw. And I'm don't scare and I wasn't scared, but I wasn't sure what was going on. And I know I was by myself because the whole group just left me. And that's the one thing that's always stuck out to me. The most of all the things I've experienced, probably because it was my first real big, what I felt was malevolent and dark, because it was. I don't
Wow.
like the word demon, but Brushy Mountain does have that. And I'll say that on camera and I'll say that with my hand on the Bible. I don't care because it's true. But Brushy was just the history, if you know anything about it, it was a terrible place with a lot of terrible
Mhm.
people in it. And it was the administration that was just as bad as the prisoners. So, and then you've got your Appalachian Mountains. It's in the Appalachian Mountains. We all know what happens in the Appalachian Mountains. Not good stuff. You have Native American history there, big time Native American history. So you've got everything on that land. You've got a prison that's shaped like an upside down cross in the middle of a mountain that's seen thousands of people die. You're going to get something bad in that
Mm-hmm.
mix somewhere. When it was shut down, before they opened it back up, they had a problem with people getting onto the property and doing cultish things, satanic things. Who knows what they've brought there, especially if they don't know what they're doing. They've
Yeah.
opened up things and they've left it. and now we got to deal with it. But it's still an amazing place. It's still absolutely beautiful, even though it's falling apart. It looks like the architecture's amazing. The fact that it's in a mountain, I mean, because it is, there's one way in and one way out.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know if you all have been at all.
No.
You
I
gotta
want to.
go. Yeah,
I
you
want
gotta
to.
go. It is it's a little price on the pricier end, but it's a massive location. And if you tap it out with, I think it's 10 people, then you're good. It's like $100 a piece, but it's just a matter of getting people that'll stick to it. But
Right.
you gotta go. I mean, even if it's massive. You almost can't do it all in one night, but you'd want to, obviously. But
No, I've looked
Mhm.
into going there with them for like, our team, we got a couple junior investigators, and like if most of the prisons are 18 plus, so it's like
Mhm.
if we did it, we'd have to plan a separate road trip where they're not with.
Right. Well, I mean, with Brushy though, and you'll see the signs that say no paranormal investigating during daytime tours. But, I go, but I mean, I'm not investigating, but you can still do daytime tours as well with the youth. Like if you wanted to plan it's the same trip and maybe they just hang out in the hotel while, you go at night, they still get to see it and experience it. And
Right.
you're going to experience things in the daytime too.
Oh, for sure.
Um, you're going to see things, you're going to hear things. It's there 24/7.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, that's something that I've even had to do at locations before like that. Just, daytime
Well,
stuff,
like
nighttime stuff.
last July, we were at my daughter here at Natalie. We were at Indiana State for a couple hours during the day,
Mhm.
and we heard stuff. So it's like
Mhm.
it's definitely there during the day.
I want
Yeah.
to go there, and that's on my list for this summer. My good friend Tim T Dog, he lives up there, and he's like, "Well, I'll take." He's got all kinds of places that he's gonna show me, but I didn't realize there was so much in Indiana
Oh,
until
yeah.
I just started looking at these locations. Like, wait a minute, that's like 10 minutes up the road. Well, that's just 15. Well, now I've got to make a whole week almost, but there's a lot in Indiana,
There
a
is.
lot, and I didn't even realize it.
Indiana, Illinois, Ohio. There's quite a bit of stuff all through in there.
Kentucky is loaded. Of course, Kentucky and
Yeah.
Tennessee is about all I've done. I've done a couple of things in Georgia. Um, I just haven't been able to travel as far being the single mom. I have to kind of be closer to home with the kid. But now he's older and things are open. More doors are opening for me. So that's
Uh,
not going to be as big of an issue. But when he was younger, both of them younger, I didn't want to leave them because I
yeah.
had to take care of them. Um, but there is a lot in Kentucky. I think Kentucky's probably for me so far, but like I said, I've only did like 3 states. It's been the most haunted.
Sorry, we're laughing at something else, not you.
Oh, you're laughing at me?
No, no, not
No.
you. Anyway, but yeah, it's like speaking of Kentucky, we're super excited to get back to Waverly Hills in July. We were there on that junior investigation back in July, and it was cool being there, but then there was like,
There were so many
there were so
people.
many people, so it just kind of like we hardly got any activity. People were bumping into each other and coming in where we were investigating. So like we left to go, we need to go back and we need to do it
Yeah.
right.
That's the thing with me in events. I go to them, especially if it's to support, an investigator that's holding the event or see my friends or whatever, but I'm not going to get much. I mean, I'm not going to really be investigating
Yeah,
because you can't.
we did get a really interesting story on something that happened during the trip, but we're gonna save that
We're
story
saving that.
for Waverly when we're all
We're
together
saving
in
that.
June. So
Yeah, I've spent the night there 3 times. Um, I've been there day and night, but I've spent, well, what they call the night. I left at 5 a.m. But it's massive too, and I've got some stories too. Now, I will say I went there once and got nothing. Absolutely, it was the weirdest thing, but nothing. I mean, it was crickets.
Yeah.
Very strange, very strange.
The thing that
But that
I most
happens.
the thing that I most remember besides the story we have is the whole group was like behind me and we heard something. I think we were on the third floor, maybe.
Well, I need you to finish the story for me to find out.
Well, anyways, I think we're on the third floor and we're like at one end of the building. So then everybody stayed behind me and I went walking towards the sound. And all I had was my little Phasm cam, which is the night vision camera, because somebody broke the other camera that we had.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute.
But so like I didn't realize it at the time, but going back watching the video, I had bats swooping right over my head and didn't even see them.
Yeah, I also had a bat fly like right in my face. Like it was like right in front of my face.
But they're so cute.
But so like if you look at, for instance, Chad's sweatshirt, like under the name on the front, we got the bat hanging upside down. So the bat's kind of our animal for our team, just because I got attacked by a bat.
No, I got attacked by a bat.
Well, we both got attacked by a bat.
No.
I've been attacked by bats. I think that's part of it. You cannot call yourself a paranormal investigator until you've been attacked by birds and bats.
Right.
And the homeless.
And I don't think we've encountered the homeless yet.
You will.
Which is that?
Well, I mean, I'm bad to do that. I'm bad to go in abandoned places, so alone.
Oh yeah,
There was a homeless camp in the bell tower at Jericho.
Yes.
Yeah. Kitty.
Yeah. But nobody was in there.
Well, that's good. Because they're not very nice sometimes. but yeah, there's always those little things like that for sure. But that's about everything. I mean, I'm trying to think of anywhere else that would really sticks out. I mean, they all stick out. I've not really had a terrible investigation. And then I get in these shows and I forget everything. So I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, yeah, have you ever been to West Virginia State Penitentiary?
No, I haven't. I need to. I love anything jails related. Anything. Like that's my favorite location is a jail or a prison. Don't know why. It's just something. I don't know if it was the brushy thing, and my closeness or how close I feel to just that place, or if it's something from my past. I don't know. Another life. I don't know, but that's my favorite is prisons and jails.
Yeah.
I haven't really been to an asylum. I've got that's on my list for the summer. Supposed to go to Edinburgh and Randolph. I think those are both asylums, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the two that's supposed to be on my list. So I'll have my first asylum.
Yeah, we'll be at Edinburgh beginning of April.
July is when I've been invited. I've tried to make this trip 3 times and something has happened because that's a long way for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like 11 hours one way. So, and it's just like something has always came up and they've got a whole week. They've got that place reserved a whole week. I said, I'm not staying a week. I've got a life, but I'm going to try to get a couple days in. I think it's July. But they're so excited for me to see it because they've been several times and I've seen some really wicked evidence from there.
Yeah, when I go back in April, it'll be my 3rd time there.
Oh, have you got good stories?
Oh yeah, that was actually the very first place I ever got to investigate.
Oh, okay.
And it was
that's your brushy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Any chance I get to go there, I will go there.
Well, I haven't made it. I've had 3. This will be my 3rd chance, so I kind of feel like I blow it. It's on me. But I have seen some videos they had actually sent the other night when we were on the phone, and one of them, you can literally see someone hanging themselves in a live video.
Huh.
And I was sold. I was like, yep, I'm gonna go. But I know me, and I'd be trying to talk them out of it. I'd be like, put the rope down. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Uh,
The last
But
the last time I was there, I think we stopped investigating like 3 or 4 in the morning, and there's a separate house that you can go sleep in. Well, everybody except for myself and another guy slept there. We actually slept in the kids' room inside the manor,
oh,
which was pretty interesting. And
yeah,
especially for the fact that like earlier in the night, one of our REM pods, the antenna got snapped in half in that room.
okay.
yeah, that's where I'm gonna sleep there this next time.
Hmm?
Yeah, I went up
Yeah.
and saw. I don't know if you all know Ernie and Denise Pack. They have the
No,
Ditto House in Kentucky.
no.
Supposed to be the most haunted house in Kentucky, and they own it and live in it. And I spent the night with, or a weekend with them a few months ago, and I got the kids' room, and it was something. Like they have little kids in there. It's an old house. It was like a field hospital for the war and all kinds of things. It was supposed to be even been a brothel at one point. There was a lot of history in that house, and it's nothing to be sitting there and just see a shadow figure walk across the room. I mean, that's how active the house they live in is. But they have these little kids there, kid spirits, and they will leave little stones randomly through the house. The
Uh,
little prettier crystals and stones, and they will move them or they'll play with them or, because they had heard that the children that they believe it is used, of course, it was the old days and they played with rocks and stones and like marbles and things like that. So it's kind of a trigger object and they caught on to it. So they just kept doing it. So they have a stairway up to get upstairs, and they put rocks on every step just to see if they'll move them. Here, the first night I was there, and I ran voice recorder all night, and sadly, I've not listened to it all yet, because that's just a lot of hours. But I get up and I'm making the bed. It's just a little twin bed. And when I moved the pillow, this clank happened. There was nothing in that bed that should have clanked and hit the floor, and it was a stone. It was a crystal. Wasn't there the night before, and I'm a light sleeper, so I know nobody snuck in there to play a trick on me. And it was an old house, so the floors are creaky and the doors, are loud. I go outside and I was like, guys, this was under my pillow. It was under the pillow. They thought that was just the greatest thing. Apparently, the kids brought me one of the stones. So they go and look on the steps, and all of them are there. Like all the rocks and stones are there. But when Denise goes to look where she put some more, and in particular, the one that she thought that one was, and it was in a specific part of the house, which is how she would document it and know what was moved, it was gone.
uh,
So they was playing with me, I guess. I don't know. But
wanted to give you a present.
Well,
yeah, a little rock. And it was sweet. Kids, I it's sad. I mean, to think of deceased children, but I
Yeah,
also get a little bit of joy out of it sometimes, as bad as that sounds. Just to know that, we can still talk to them,
yeah,
keep them
yeah,
company, or just, I would want that for my own child.
yeah.
That's why I play hide and seek. That is one of the best. I'll just call it a trigger object. It's really not, but like that works. It
Trigger
works.
activity.
Yeah, because I mean I've set up, REM pods, K2s, and just this because I don't use a lot of equipment, and I sure don't put it all together because I don't want anything false coming through. In a straight line, and I'm running back to base, and I have literally seen the stuff, boom, 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 because they're chasing me back to base. So
I'll have to try that at Edinburgh.
it takes a lot of work to get there, but it does happen eventually. Especially if you go, because I have my own spatial spot here in my county, and there's a little girl spirit there. And
Uh,
it took a long time for me to get what's a child? They're scared too.
Hmm.
yeah,
And once that doorway was opened, it was on, and that child She even messes with my little boy. I took him down there a while back. He said he was just cold, but he was not. He was scared.
Uh,
But I was like, I'm sure she gets a lot of stuff from kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just you're a kid, so or you're younger, or you're not a kid, but you're younger, you're you're relatable.
Yeah, you
I'm
definitely
a
have
I'm a
the.
female. I'm like a mother figure.
mhm.
They're gonna come to me more.
Yeah, she does definitely has a story to tell about interactions with the kids.
Yep. I
In
mean,
Redwood?
And
yep.
yeah, you know the story. You were there.
You've heard the story a million times.
Yeah.
Just say she got hit in the face with the dowsing rod, and I had to leave $1.
Oh,
Yeah.
He
well,
paid a spirit off to get hit her in the head with dowsing rods.
maybe it was just trying to give you a kiss on the cheek.
Uh,
Maybe
I don't know.
your future husband.
Yeah. Hey, it worked on Casper.
uh,
Well, I mean, I don't think they got married, but still, they had a thing for each other.
We'll have to find out in May when we go back. Yeah,
uh,
she wants to do a solo in the schoolhouse with Levi.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll even
That's
just
what
go.
that's what
Is
I like to
Levi the
see.
name of the kid spirit?
Yeah.
I do like to see the brave children.
Yeah.
Now this one
I
is
like to
pretty.
see the not brave ones too because they're a lot of fun too.
She is pretty brave, but then she does get scared too. So.
Well, I mean,
Stop lying.
Oh yeah, you do.
You get scared more easily than
No,
me.
I don't.
Yes, you do. Stop lying.
Name one time when I've been scared.
Every occasion.
Not at all.
Yes, you have.
No.
Yes, you were scared of bats.
No.
No, you were scared at Indiana State.
I was not.
Oh, yeah. You were freaking out because you didn't know what the noise was. And Jake and I were just standing there looking at you like you were an idiot.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking
No, I
about.
don't.
Yes, you do.
Oh, let's see. What was I gonna? There was one other thing I was gonna ask. I gotta go back and find that.
okay.
So you were saying you're in an issue of Ghost Buzz. I've never heard of that magazine before. Can you tell us a little
I
bit about that?
I don't know a lot. Janet Ramsey is the writer. I believe she writes, and it's her magazine. Sh it's supposed to come out, I thought this month, but it might be next month because I kind of dropped the ball because I had a lot going on at one point, and I had some sickness. I don't know. I mean, I'll post all the information as soon as I know. Um, had the Paranormal Press a couple years ago, and then this one, and I'm not sure. I know you can look it up like on Facebook. You can just put Ghost Buzz, and then there's actually a page for it.
Okay.
And on it, if you just reach out to her, I mean, she would probably more than likely be willing to put her in there. Just, I don't know what you want, how much you want her out there, but she's open to that kind of thing,
Okay.
just give it a shot. Her name's Janet Ramsey. I mean, I would love to see her and do something like that just because it's a good boost for your self-esteem, obviously, but I mean, it would just be good for her.
Yeah, and like Chad's daughter Macy too. It's like you don't really see that many junior investigators out
And
there.
that's and then that's what I want to do so bad. That's a goal is just to reach that.
Yeah,
So,
because like Chad's daughter Macy, she's 15, Natalie's 11, so it's like
Yeah.
she's been to a lot of great locations, and then all the stuff that we got going on this year is just like,
oh, Dad, you're in trouble. I did not think she was 11.
oh yeah,
Uh-oh. I was really thinking like 15.
oh no, not even close.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't
Well,
be too long, and mine will be driving.
well, I just had one to turn 18. Well, he'll be 19 next month, so that was hard. But yeah, I don't, that's all I know about it. She's a really nice lady, I would just look it up there, and she's always open to suggestions. I think I saw a post. She was actually looking for articles on most haunted locations, or she wants an article on just different, maybe in, I don't know if it said Tennessee. See, that's me. I'm scanning and I don't read it completely, but it's that kind of thing. Like it's just she's open to anything
Okay.
paranormal wise. So, um, yeah, Janet Ramsey. I'll send you the link for the
Okay.
magazine.
All
That
right.
way, because I'm she would probably. I mean, I don't quote me on that because I don't know, but I'm sure she would love to have a child.
Okay. But yeah, it's like I'll see all these different articles or posts on Facebook, and then I'll forward them myself through Messenger. So I got like so many things to go back and read that I send myself, and just trying to find a time to get caught up on everything.
Yeah. I'll I may have to be reminded, but
Okay.
I'll get the link. I know that's got a whole Facebook page, and I know she has her own page too. But it is called Ghost Buzz. And I was in a podcast a while back, and bless her heart, she was on there supporting me, and I was like, I don't even know the name of the magazine, and she chimes in caps. It was Ghost Buzz. I felt so bad, but I'll get you the link though,
Okay.
because I would really love to see her in there. I'd buy it.
Then she get it framed and put on her wall, and
Right. But she might, yeah, I
you'd
mean,
be
like I said, don't
famous.
quote me on it because I don't want to answer for
Oh,
her,
right.
but
No,
just
totally.
just judging by the things I've seen and the other articles that she's done, she looks pretty open. Like it's like an equal thing. I've seen men, women, I don't know that I saw a child, but I would love to. So I'll even put a buzz in her ear. I'll
All
message her
right.
too. That way she's knows what you're talking about.
Okay. So if you had one location that you've never been to, what would your dream location to go to be?
That is a easy question and it's loaded at the same time. Uh, are we talking about something that's doable or not doable?
How about both?
Both. Not doable is Transylvania.
Oh, I would love to do that too.
That's not doable, I don't think. But it's a dream of mine. Doable. Well, Edinburgh, obviously. And I'm gonna even, and I just thought about this today because I was thinking about it, oddly enough. But Queen Mary.
There you
Oh,
go.
that's one I want to go to.
Never really thought about it till recently, and it's just like it keeps falling in my laps. I don't know why, but I keep running across things about the Queen Mary, and I think I would really like to go there. I have a whole list, but Edinburgh is topping it. The more I hear the stories and I see the evidence, and I've got the plan in motion, so that one's doable, I think.
Yeah. But
Transylvania, probably not. I would love to go to
who knows?
Ireland
You
too.
have to find the right connections for that.
I know. I would love to go to Ireland as well. Being of Irish descent, I'm 82%. So I would definitely like to just go to Ireland, but yeah, definitely like
Yeah,
to and hit some of those old pubs for
right.
investigating purposes.
Uh,
But yeah, doing an investigation on the ship is definitely something else. I had the opportunity to do one up in Duluth, Minnesota over the summer. And the day we were there, it was like 90 degrees, but
Mhm.
inside the ship, it was about 125 degrees.
oof.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, it was just like dripping sweat. And
Yeah, I did the shipyard at the USS Alabama. I think that's what it's called. It's in Mobile, I
okay.
think. I didn't investigate it because I was way too young. I was probably hurt. Well, I was a little older than her, and I was just there with family. But even then, as the gifts that I have were that I wasn't in tune with completely. But yeah, ships, especially like a warship, because that was, that had been a war. So that's definitely something I would like to do. But it was really hot in there. But that was Alabama in July.
This one was one of the iron ore ships, and there was a boiler accident where only one crew member died, but still there was just like so much activity just from that.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a submarine there as well. That was hotter than the ship.
Oh, I believe that.
But I mean, there's lots of locations. What about you all?
Well,
I'll go first.
yep,
I'll go
she'll go
'cause
first.
I know mine. Mine is the Winchester Mystery House.
Is it because it's Winchester? Do we have a little bit of Dean there coming through?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I've always liked that place.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I also know Dean Winchester too. So,
For me, I kind of flip back and forth through locations like daily. It's like, which one is really on my top. But it's like, Brushy Mountain's always been on the top, and Penhurst and Crescent.
Penhurst is on my top
So
3.
those would be like probably my top three, but then again, that could change tomorrow. But
Yeah.
well, that was me because I just thought of Queen Mary earlier today. So I hadn't really thought about it until then. It just popped in my head. But yeah, I just went to the Reed House for New Year's in Chattanooga. And it's just something about that time period and that type of, you just step back in time. So that's how I envision Queen Mary to be, I guess. Maybe that's what triggered it.
yeah,
Um, but it's because I believe it was about the same time period. I don't know, 18, 1700, something like that was there's the Reed House. 1800s for the murder, but or 1900s. Now my history is all it's all mixed up now.
but someday if I have the
Yeah,
money, oh, go ahead, Jess or Laurel. Sorry.
my dream location is even more impossible than Transylvania. I would like to do an investigation above or down below at the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Hmm. Is there a particular reason? Because I'm not familiar with it.
You're not familiar with the Edmund Fitzgerald?
No.
Oh boy, there's a whole song. I'd probably break copyright if I sang it.
No, where
It's an
was that?
iron
Where?
ship like
Okay.
the one Matthew was investigating, and uh the way the song goes, "'Twas the witch of November came stealing." So the winds blew up, and they're not entirely sure how the ship went down. Ah.
Hmm. Kind of like Titanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, my new spot that I want to go to, again, I just found out about it the other day. It's called Fort Mifflin. Again, it's a Revolutionary War fort. I'm not even sure what state it's in right now.
I
I
was just
haven't
gonna ask him,
looked
like,
it up,
where is that?
yeah, it's got to be out on the East Coast someplace. But yeah, that's my favorite time area is right in there.
Gosh, so you don't ever hear anything about the Revolutionary War at all.
Well, if we're doing Penhurst next May for Paracon, we might have to try to find that place.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be neat.
My cat is trying to bite me. I'm sorry.
Mine kept trying to come up too.
Oh,
I don't know
mine's
where
been
ours
biting
are.
me all this whole time.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have no cats trying to bother us tonight.
We have
uh,
2, but I don't know where they are.
That's okay.
No, it's not. I missed
No, you can go find them after this. Chad's trying to find his.
well, she's right here on my leg.
Oh,
Oh,
See?
Oh, I got the mean one here. I got the little demon.
uh,
He,
cute. Uh-oh. Well, guys, I gotta go. My daughter's calling me to come pick her up.
All right.
I'll
All right.
miss you. I say
Yep.
hi.
We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Talk to you later. Have a
Yep.
good night.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I guess with
That
that,
happened last time too.
I know, right? Well, I guess with that, we probably could end this as it's after 8 o'clock. So
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
been fun.
so Krystal, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
I'm still working on a lot of that stuff. I just recently found out I do have a YouTube channel I didn't know I had. It's just all under my name.
I found one of those last year.
I've got to work on it all. I have, well, of course, I have the Ghost Bait Tennessee Misfits still up, attached to my Facebook. I was going to change the name back to just my name, but it won't let me change it right now, so I'm just going with it. So there's that. You can get to it that way. And there's the YouTube. It's just Krystal Blevins. I'm still working on it because I didn't realize I had that. My
Alright.
11-year-old had to tell me that I had it. I thought I just had a YouTube account. Nope, I have a whole page.
Nice.
So I've got to get some things added to that, and TikTok. It's just everything's under my name.
Okay.
So right now it's just the TikTok, and which don't really have a lot on there. I do, but I don't. Like I don't have highlights or anything. But that's it. Just your basic socials. Like I said, I don't do all of that whole thing. So I kind of keep it just real and
Simple.
semi simple. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I'll put what links I can find down in the description.
Yeah, I'll send everything I have over to somebody. Do
Yeah,
I
you
have
can.
you? Okay.
Well, you
I'll
can
send my
send.
links over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can send them to me, and then I'll get them over to Laurel. And
Okay. Sounds good.
all
I
right.
have them. I'm on my phone right now. But I'll get them right over to you as soon as I'll get send you that Ghost Buzz thing too.
Okay. All right. Sounds great. Well, thank you for being on tonight,
You're welcome.
and we look forward to chatting more, and then for our investigations ahead, and then just we'll stay in touch.
Okay, bye.
All right. Yeah.
This has been Nightmare Stories of the Other Side, a production of Nightmare Explorers.